ETOPS, Extended Twin Operations. ETOPS has been with us for a long time, a considerable number of years, and in actual fact it's grown with the improvements in the performance of engines, which gave us the confidence to change long haul from 4 engines to 2 engines. And it came about, we saw during the 1960s, for example, aeroplanes, intercontinental aeroplanes had 4 engines. And the 747 was a perfect example, carrying on into the 1970s. At the time, at the beginning of the 1970s, we also had some 3-engined aeroplanes. And the aeroplanes we had, for example, was the DC-10 and the L-1011. These were 3-engine aeroplanes. And Airbus came into life at the beginning of the 1970s with an aeroplane called the A300. And the A300 was a 2-engined aeroplane. And at the time, it caused a lot of, let's say, interest and controversy as to how safe the 2-engined aeroplanes were. In actual fact, to my knowledge, since that time, since the 1970s, so we're talking more than 40 years, there has never been such an incident that we can turn around and say, there you go, I told you we shouldn't have 2-engine airplanes. It's never happened. And as a result, all that we've seen in actual fact is it becomes safer from the early days. It's just become safer and safer. So the 2-engined aeroplane was tasked with flying further and further distances. Now, when you can, for example, within a short period of time, you can land the airplane, it's okay. When it takes some time, because you're flying over water, before you can land an airplane, then you've got to have a lot of confidence in that remaining engine. And that was the development of the ETOPS process, Extended Twin Operation, where an aeroplane is flying over the water, and if we lose an engine, there is no possibility of it landing anytime soon. And it's developed, it's grown, and it's currently at 207 minutes in general and 240 minutes for specific instances. So that's where we are today. From a planning point of view, what we've got to recognise is ETOPS aeroplanes need to be treated in a different way to non-ETOPS aeroplanes. So there is a different maintenance program for ETOPS aeroplanes compared with the non-ETOPS aeroplanes. In 1988, the FAA amended ETOPS to allow the extension to a 180-minute diversion period, subject to stringent technical and operational qualifications. This made 95% of the Earth's surface available to ETOPS flights. The cornerstone of the ETOPS approach is the statistics that show that the turbine itself is an inherently reliable component. Incredibly reliable component in actual fact. And it's the engine ancillaries that have a lower reliability rating. For example, the engine generator is an ancillary, so the engine generator is less reliable than the engine itself. But the performance of the engines, the only word for it is stunning. The technology that has gone into Western engines, and I say Western engines, and predominantly 3 companies, General Electric, Rolls-Royce, Pratt & Whitney. These 3 companies have really pushed the boundary, and the technology that is involved in the engines is incredible. As a result, we've got superb engines, but they actually cost a lot of money. They're very expensive. And there is a picture showing the ETOPS 40 minutes. Now permitted on a case-by-case basis with regulatory bodies ranging from the USA to Australia to New Zealand. And the reason why New Zealand is part of this process is because I can't even see New Zealand there, it's down here somewhere. they're hardly even on the world. And in fact, if, like some people, you believe that the world is flat, you will know that New Zealand is located just before you fall off. It really is away from everywhere. The certificate holder must have been operating at 120 minutes or greater for at least 24 consecutive months, of which at least 12 months must be at 240-minute ETOPS authority with the airplane engine combination in the application. So again, very, very stringent rules, and it would be a nerve-wracking 4 hours on one engine for sure.